introduce Leah. Just give me a second. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so first of all, again, Leah, we are so, so thankful to you for coming on and sharing with us. We have so much hakaras hatov to everybody every single day who comes on and teaches us Torah and shares with us. It is just remarkable. So Leah Aroni is the founder and CEO of Love Your Biz Business Consulting, where she coaches and consults to women on finding their life mission and turning it into a career or business path. Leah served as the Chief People Officer at Israel's Channel 20 TV. She holds a master's degree in organizational psychology from Toro and a bachelor's degree in education from Michlala. She is also the founder of Women for the Wall, a grassroots women's organization dedicated to preserving the sanctity and tradition at the Kotel in the spirit of Jewish unity. Leah lectures and writes extensively on issues of personal development, gender roles, and religion-state relations. She teaches Torah classes and leads educational women's retreats in Israel and the Ukraine. So I am very, very privileged to introduce you to now Leah. Leah, are you there? Do you need to be unmuted? Did I do something?
Yes, no, I'm right here.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, really, Leah. Thank you so, so much from all of us for doing this again. We so immensely got so much out of the last time you spoke, and we're so excited to have you again. Thank you so much. I'm going on mute now.
Thank you so much for having me back, and it's my pleasure and privilege to be here. So for all of you beautiful ladies who want to open your camera so I can see your beautiful faces, even if it's without makeup, I would appreciate that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and it's just fun to see faces and we can interact. And it's hey, Belima and Bracha Blanca. I'm seeing some lady from my share. That's amazing to see you. Okay, so Naomi asked me to come back to continue discussing what we did last time, and I'll give you a quick recap for those of you who don't remember. And then we're going to do an exercise, and then there'll be time for question and answer. But I'd like to start with a story that I absolutely love, and I shared a lot in some of the shiurim I give. And it's a story from the time of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov had a group of Talmidim, the Kaminka brothers. And the Kaminka brothers, like every other Jewish family, needed parnasa. So they went to the Baal Shem Tov and asked him for advice, how should they be making money? So the Baal Shem Tov told them, you want to make a lot of money, sell big things. And big things in the times of Baal Shem Tov were oxen, because you would use an ox to plow a field. They're like the tractors of that time. So he gave them the exact guidelines of what oxen to choose, where to buy them. And then you had to take them from the fair to wherever you would be selling them. So what ways to go so they wouldn't get stolen. And basically just gave them the whole 9 yards. And they, sure enough, they went and they got the oxen, they sold them, and they made some money, and they sat down to learn. And the money ran out, and they did it again. And this went on for a few years until this one time they had to go to an oxen fair, and the Baal Shem Tov was not available, so they couldn't get the bracha and the guidelines. So they said, we've been doing this for a few years, like we know the drill, we know what to do. We've heard this already a few times. We're just going to go and do it ourselves. So sure enough, they went ahead, they got the oxen, and on their way back from the fair, taking the oxen back home, they had to sleep somewhere in the forest. So they tied the oxen to a tree. They went to sleep. They wake up in the morning, no oxen. Oxen are gone. And so they sent one of the brothers to the Baal Shem Tov to ask for bracha for the oxen to come back. So the Baal Shem Tov, so the brother walks into the Baal Shem Tov's study, and the Baal Shem Tov he's learning the Zohar. So he's looking in, so the brother tells the whole story. And the Baal Shem Tov looks into the Zohar and comes back up and says, your oxen is right there. Otherwise, nobody stole them. You just forgot where you tied them. Go to this and this tree. He gave him some guidelines, and you'll find your oxen there. So this person asks the Baal Shem Tov, Rebbe, why did you look in the Zohar? Do you see our oxen in the Zohar? Like, why did you need a sefer to look to find out oxen? So the Baal Shem Tov says, when the Baruch created the world, he created the world with, it says that the Adam Rishon could see, he created this light. Light is always consciousness. So he created this light with which Adam Rishon could see from one end of the world to the other end of the world. Basically, you just have consciousness of everything. But it was very dangerous that that the wrong people would get their hands on this light. So the Baruch hid it for the tzaddikim. And where did he hid this special light? Where did he hid this consciousness that you can basically see everything in the whole world and everything that's happening? Where did he hid that? He hid it in the Torah. So Baal Shem Tov says, what I have in front of me right now is a Zohar. So I'm looking in the Zohar. This is where I find it. If I would have a Shulchan Aruch, I would have looked at the Shulchan Aruch. This light of being able to see anything and everything is in the Torah. Okay. So, and he told them, obviously, next time you go somewhere, don't forget to ask for bracha. So you don't get, you don't get any of these mix-ups. So why am I sharing the story? I mean, this story sounds beautiful and we all love support tzaddikim, but but there is it's magic. It sounds like a magic story. There's something about it that doesn't make sense to us. But what if I was to tell you that each one of you can right now access the ability to see from one end of the world to another and get any kind of information? Would you believe me? Who thinks that she can do it right now? It's at her fingertips. It's called Google, ladies. Okay, everything that exists in the world, all the information that exists in the world, every single picture, an image of every single person exists in the world. And today you can connect your air conditioner, your stove, obviously your phone, your lock to the internet, and you can access it from anywhere. And you can know anything that goes on anywhere. Like my uncle lives in San Francisco, and one day he was visiting with us in Israel, and he got an alarm that something's wrong in this clinic. He's a dentist. He opens his phone, punches in a number, and looks on a camera at what is happening in his office in San Francisco. It's like a done thing every single day. And the layers and layers and layers of information, and every single one of you, and everything that there is to know about every single one of you is on the internet today, including your picture. And with algorithm, Google can probably guess what you're going to do better than you can guess what you're going to do, and what you're going to want and what not. And this is just a tiny example. Okay, so this is just a mashal for us to understand that Kadosh Baruch Hu has a consciousness of everything. So Google allows us to, the internet allows us to access any information just about anything, and probably almost any object on this planet. But when we talk about Kadosh Baruch Hu, it's like it's like P, Ein Sof, but it's consciousness of everything. And Kadosh Baruch Hu hid it for us in the Torah. So I think we have Google today because we need better and better examples and better mashalim, so we can finally appreciate more of Kadosh Baruch Hu. Like the Chafetz Chaim said that when they created the phone, so it was an example of Ein Roa Ozen Shoma. It was an example of Ozen Shomat, right? So today you have cameras in everywhere. It's you're always heard, always seen, and always monitored by somebody. So why am I saying this? We discussed during the last year, and we met 2 weeks ago, that Kadosh Baruch Hu creates the world every single moment anew. It's not that he created the world in Bereshis and he let it go and he's just now looking over it. He's recreating the world every single moment. And he's recreating the world. This is what the Baal Shem Tov says. He creates the world through speech. It's not that Hashem talks. It's that when do we talk? When we need to communicate with somebody else. I don't need to tell myself that I'm hungry. I know when I'm hungry. I know when I'm thirsty, and I know when I like ice cream. But if I want to get a cup of water, or if I want somebody to give me a bowl of cereal, or if I want to tell somebody something or communicate, then with somebody else, I need language. So this is why it is said that Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world through ma'amarim, through speech. He spoke when we say that Hashem spoke, what we're saying is he communicated his ratzon, his will, and it became. So what that means is that every single moment of our life is Hashem telling us, this is what I want to happen right now. Every single moment of our life is specifically engineered, designed by Kadosh Baruch Hu to be in a specific way, and it's a message. It's a message that's specifically aimed for us. Because why would Hashem create a world in a specific way, at a specific moment for you, if it doesn't have meaning? It all has meaning. It's a ratzon of Hashem. And the question is, do we know how to listen to that? Do we know how to hear that? And last week we discussed how listening to Hashem talking to us through life can give us messages about our life's purpose. And we mentioned a couple of tools. One tool we mentioned is slowing down, because when you're in a rush, when you're in a hurry, when you're doing 10 things at once, when you're multitasking, like every single one of you, I'm sure, you can't hear anything because you're just too busy. It's like when you eat and you type, or you eat and you talk, you don't taste the food. You have taste buds, but you can't pay attention. So the Rebbe says, if you want to hear Hashem's voice, you have to slow down. And then another tool that the Pesachim gives us is what's he called hitbonenus. Hitbonenus means to look. To look. Okay, and in one of his sefarim, he gives us specific hadracha, specific guidelines how to do it. So what I would like to do with you today, if you don't mind, is do just this. Take a few minutes to quiet down. It's called hashkata. It's called quieting down. To quiet down and actually look and listen and hear if Hakadosh Baruch Hu has messages for us, if Hakadosh Baruch Hu is talking to us. Okay, so this means that if you're multitasking, doing something right now, you'll have to stop. So please sit down comfortably on a seat that is comfortable for you. What is the name of the book? I'm asked. It's in the back of a book called Derech HaMelech. Derech HaMelech. It's in the back of Derech HaMelech. Derech HaMelech is Pesachim Rebbe's drushim, his Torah, his mamarim from before the Holocaust. And in the back, he brings this description of Hashkata, but he brings this in other books as well. Okay, and for those of you who are interested, like I mentioned last time, I teach two shiurim, one in the Tanya and one in the Pesachim Rebbe's book Bnei Machshava Tova on Sunday nights, and I'm going to send Nomi a link to both of them as soon as we finish. So I know I promised last week, but I'm going to do it right now. So please sit down comfortably in your chair. With your back straight. If you want to turn off the camera so that you feel more comfortable, that's also fine. What we're about to do is a sort of meditation, and what's very important to understand that you cannot do this wrong. There's no way you can fail in this. Even if you've never done this before, there's no way to do it wrong. Just do it, okay? And it has tremendous value for you. There's actually some neuroscience that shows that when you meditate for just 10 minutes a day, it strengthens your power of will tremendously, and it strengthens the power of your brain to make decisions and process things. So it's very, very powerful. And obviously here it has different benefit because it brings us closer to Hakadosh Baruch Hu and lets us really hear him. So please sit down comfortably on your chair or on your seat. Put your 2 feet on the ground comfortably. Hold your back straight. Again, preferably against a backrest. And just relax your body. Hold your head high. Close your eyes. Set aside whatever it is you're doing for a few minutes. Become aware of a string of light that is connected to the top of your head and is very gently pulling you up. So now your back is straight, your vertebrae is straight but relaxed. Okay, you relax your shoulders. Maybe you can move them a few times, like your shoulders. Relax your face, relax your chin, your mouth. And take a very, very slow and gentle breath through your nose into your lungs, into your stomach, very slowly and gently. Now slowly and gently breathe out. in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And continue breathing slowly, and now let each breath make you more relaxed. On your next breath, as you breathe in, please become aware of the sensation of air going in through your nose, or the sound of the air going in through your nose. And as you exhale, become aware of the sensation of the air coming out or the sound. And please continue breathing slowly while you concentrate on the sensation or the sound of your breath. See yourself sitting down comfortably in a seat in a comfortable, pleasant environment. As you keep breathing, and in front of you, you see a screen. And on this screen, you see all of your thoughts. Whatever thought comes into your mind, just observe it from the outside without judgment, like you would observe birds flying through the sky. If a thought takes you in and you find yourself thinking about something and you get distracted, that's perfectly okay. It's perfectly normal. Just come back to the screen, to observing your thoughts. And you can do this as many times as needed. Try to see yourself observing your thoughts on a screen. No judgment. Now find a situation, a feeling, a sensation, a drama that has been bothering you lately, something that has been a real issue for you, that has been causing you pain or distress or stress, and pull it up on the screen and just observe it. There's no judgment, just look at it, make space for it. Look at it from the outside of the drama. See if the drama has a name. Don't force it, just maybe it has a name. If it has a name, it will tell it to you. Don't force anything. Observe it from the outside and see if the drama is willing to tell you what it is called. Is it resentment? Is it stress? Is it jealousy? Is it anger? It can have any name. Don't analyze it with your mind. Just quiet down and let it share what it has to say. See where you feel this. Maybe there's a place in your body where you feel this sensation. Just observe it with curiosity. And it might be painful, but don't turn away from it because it's coming here to heal and dissipate. Does it have a space in the body? Does it have a color? What color is it? Does it have a shape? Does it have texture? What's the texture? Is it cold? Is it hot? Look at it. There's no judgment. And maybe it has a message for you. Maybe the drama inside of you has a message. It has something to say, something to share. Maybe, maybe not. Just quiet down and let it talk to you if it wants to talk to you. It is here to heal and leave. Now see this drama, this pain, this sensation slowly, slowly dissipate. Come up and out and leave you. Because the only one who can heal it is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And all that you can do is just make space for him to take it away, to make it heal. See yourself giving the keys over to Ribono Shel Olam. Give the HaKadosh Baruch Hu the keys to your neshama to heal whatever needs healing. Trust him that he can do it. And see once again this pain slowly and gently lifting up and leaving. And in its place, Hashem is shining a new light, energy, warmth, color into you. It's filling you with love. And maybe he has another message for you. Maybe there's a message in all of that energy. Just be open to receiving and hearing it. And slowly, gently take a deep, deep breath through your nose. And back out. Another deep, cleaning, cleansing, purifying breath through your nose. And exhale. And on a third breath, become aware of your surroundings, where you're sitting, the room that you're in. Exhale. Move your toes and your fingers. Take 2 deep breaths. And when you're ready, slowly and gently open your eyes. So if you're finished, just please turn on your video. I want to see that everybody's back, that we didn't forget anybody back there. Okay. So some women are sharing that it was a powerful experience for them. Was anybody able to get a message, hear something, see something?
So hi, my name is Charlene, and I meditate every day. And this meditation was powerful. The meditation I do is a yoga meditation, but it's very similar. And I like the idea of the screen in front of my face. That was very powerful to me. The screen, so I could, and then replace it later. It was very powerful. I thank you.
Pleasure. The central idea here is something that we'll learn from Yam Suf, Kriyas Yam Suf. It's Kriyas Yam Suf, Suf, right? That's the Red Sea, but it also reads like Suf, the end. We all have our limit. There's a place where each one of us has her limit, no matter how much of a tzedekah you are. There's a place when somebody gets into that corner, you get triggered and wow, but we all have that place, right? Like some of us have it higher or lower, but we all have it. So the only thing that can help, we all have it because there's a place inside of us that needs healing. It's like when somebody, if Hashem, we have, something hurts and somebody touches, you just scream because that's a natural response. When somebody touches a place that is painful to you internally, you blow your top. The only way to heal it is to let HaKadosh Baruch Hu heal it. What the Jewish people were told on the Yam Suf at the Red Sea was, Hashem says, I will fight your fight and you just be quiet. You need to be able to be quiet, calm down, step aside and let Hashem do his thing. Because he gave us that space. He gave us that nikuda, that point of pain that needs healing. And the more we allow him to heal it, the more he can heal it. We just need to look at it, recognize it, hear it, see it, come in touch with it, and then let HaKadosh Baruch Hu heal it. So what this meditation does is allows you to access that space and then make room for it, not deny it, not run from it. Then let HaKadosh Baruch Hu come in and do his thing. Because we know that all the pain comes in order to be healed. Just like when you have chas v'shalom a root canal, the only reason it hurts is that you'll go to the dentist and get it filled. So all the pain we have is in order to be healed. So now I know some of you had questions from previous share, from this share. So we have room for Q&A if anybody has any questions or wants to share something. So this is the time.
I have something to say, Leah.
Yes,
My name is Javier. So thank you so much. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I shared on the group last night, on the Nishmat group where we chat, something so powerful, the story about pain, Dafka, that Rabbi Weinberger shared recently from Rabbi Usher Freund, where he talks about a person who he was in so much pain that he just couldn't handle it anymore. And he even wanted to end his life. And then he realized that it wasn't worth it for him. And then at the end of the story, he deals with the pain. And then at the end of the story, he realizes that the pain that was so painful for him turned into something that was sweeter than honey. That's how he says it at the end of the story, and it's so powerful. And that's really, when you do the Hashkata meditation, and you do it more than once, and it's a very easy meditation to do, because once you understand once you learn the nuskha, when you learn it, and you learn the process, then you do it, and the more you can do it, the more you can, B'ezras Hashem, get to that place where you can get to that screen, and then you can really come to a place of healing, which is so beautiful, which is what we do, which is how Hashem created us, with the ability to heal. That's how he created us. That's how he created a Jew. And that's why non-Jewish therapies don't work so well on Jews, because we have this beautiful, this neshama basically that can heal.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else has a question, anything from last week they wanted, from 2 weeks ago they wanted to ask, or from anything they wanted to share?
No, I just wanted to say hi. My name is Rita. Thank you so much. When I hear meditation, I run, doesn't matter what kind, because meditation for me doesn't start in one day and ends there. For me, it's a goal every day. Every day I can do, every morning and every night, whenever I can actually push myself. And the results are incredible. It's like going into a garden. Eventually it becomes a place that you're just observing yourself. When I feel I'm observing myself, I let go of, I nullify myself as well. And that allows me to see myself outside myself without having anyone to point anything to me. I literally see myself, feel myself in the deepest way. I wanted to ask you something that came up the past few days on our lectures here with Naomi and other lectures. The space of emptiness and suffering. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay. Wow, that's not a light conversation. All of our suffering and emptiness comes from our distance from Hashem. Hashem created us as creatures, as separate from him, in order for there be a separate consciousness that understands that there is God. So the Tanya brings a mashal that if a king has a gazillion children, he's still not a king, because all his children, they're just connected to him. And even if he has a gazillion servants, they're still connected to him. When does a king become a king? When he has a nation. A nation, a people who are not connected to the king. They're a little bit connected, but they're really separate. So this is why Hashem created us. And we have, the definition of us being creatures is that we have a lack. We always will have lack, because Hashem is the source of every blessing, and he wants to give. So for him to give, I mean, obviously we're using human terms here, but for him to give, he has to have somebody who's going to receive. And we as creatures want to be receiving. Our natural state of ego is want to be receiving. Our Mitukan state, our godly state, our divine state is to receive in order to give to somebody else. This is a place where we understand we don't have anything of our own. There's really nothing that you have that is yours. And how do we know this? But Chas v'shalom, that people who live in this life, but who have nothing, like literally nothing. Not only that, they actually need somebody to take care of them. And it happens. So nothing we have is ours. So anything we have are things that we get from Hashem. So we really have chesarah, we have emptiness, we have need. And for our ego, it's a very painful place to be. But the more we understand that we're here in order to receive, and what we receive, we want to give. It says from receiving from Hashem that we then pass on to others. That's a place where we become more godly. And I think, and when you're in that place of connection, when you understand that you really don't have anything, that everything you have is something you're getting from Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you're getting it in order to pass it on, that's a place of connection where you don't really lack anything. Because all about lack and emptiness comes from a place of being separation. I hope that answers the question, Rita.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely it tells me a lot. However, a lot of people would agree that even though they feel that they're doing a lot of mitzvot and everything, they're still not connected. And the connection between God and a human being and a Jew has to have more than just, for me, it has to have more than just doing. I feel I need to be in a state of wholeness. That emptiness only exists because I'm not able to, I'm feeling the lack. And as I understand it, I shouldn't be feeling lack. All of America and televisions are telling us how much we're lacking. So I'm coming from a place of I'm enough. I am what I am. And I can definitely receive because I'm accepting myself.
Of course we're enough. Each one of us is enough, because there's no, if I was Leah and I created myself, so I wouldn't be enough because I'm limited, but I'm not Leah. I'm Hashem is creating me every single moment exactly the way it should be. So if he decided to create me the way he did, with all my lacks, that's how we say this every morning. I mean, we ladies say this every day in tefillah. We say, "Shasali kirtzono." He made me the way he wants it. Is there a bigger bracha? Every single day, say, Hashem, you made me exactly the way you want me. So yeah, I get angry and I have this, this deficiency, all these deficiencies. But this is, I didn't ask for them. You created me exactly the way you wanted me.
I have a
now
question.
There's a job for me to do. Yes.
Yeah.
What do
Yes.
what do you do, like when you have a time pressure? Like it's nice to be able to slow down and to make decisions, but what if your decision is like where you're pressured? You have to make a decision right away, and you don't have time to like really step back, like when you're under that type of pressure, and it has to be like, so how do you go to a place of calmness that you're not pressured? Like you have to do it now, and it's like, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I used to be a time junkie. I think I'm still a I'm a recovered time junkie. I'm a recovering addict to being pressured and stressed. I don't have a watch because 6 watches, one after the other, broke within 2 months. Okay. And I'm talking about expensive. So I don't have a watch. Not anymore. I used to be addicted to my watch. Okay. My avoda 2 years ago, it was like my avoda from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah was when I have 2 tasks and a 10-minute break in the middle. So my avoda was not to stick something into those 10 minutes, and to just let those 10 minutes be. Okay. So every day when I daven in the morning, I always have something coming up next, right? 9 o'clock. So I'm davening, and there's a part of me every day that says, you better hurry up because you will miss your next thing. And then another part of me says, time belongs to Hashem. The Tanya, how does Hashem create the world? He creates it by creating space and time. Time and space are created together. That's what Einstein says. But Chassidus says this all over 200 years before Einstein. Hashem created time. If I need an hour to daven, Hashem is not going to give me an hour to daven. He's going to give me an hour to daven. Time is Hashem. It's just like space and money. But it's a voda for us to tell ourselves, if I need to make a decision and I need time, then I'm going to take the time. Most of these stresses are really other people's priorities, usually. Most of the stresses in our life are other people's priorities. And in kol hakavod to other people, they can wait. They can wait in order for me to make a good decision. And it's not my priority to make a decision. So I can tell somebody to wait. But that means I need to be ready for them not to be happy. Okay, but that's their issue, not mine. I'm not responsible for their happiness. I'm responsible for making proper decisions the way Hashem wants me to. With Yeshuva Dat, the Shlomo Rebbe writes that the Yetzer Hara will give anything to take away a Jew's Yeshuva Dat. Yeshuva Dat is like when you're calm and grounded and clear. And the Yetzer Hara will give you any mitzvah, anything. The Yetzer Hara will give you anything to take away Yeshuva Dat. So Yeshuva Dat is, it's not a mitzvah, but there's no mitzvah without Yeshuva Dat. You can't be over Hashem without Yeshuva Dat. And other people's priorities will have to wait for me to have issue with that. And then make the right decisions. And then everything will take less time in the end. I hope that answers the question. I need to hear this so much. Thank you for asking the question.
Okay, you know what? It's almost 9 o'clock. I have to play the Shmir Salashon because I have to get off. But so how, if anybody has any more questions for you, Leah, how do they ask the questions?
You can, I'll put in chat my email or phone number. You can access me there.
Okay.
And I'm also going to send.
Thank you.
I'm going to send Naomi a link to the two shiurim so that you can share them if anybody wants.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Can you put the link on here too for the shiurim, Leah?
I will do that right now. I will do that right now.
Can you copy those links and then we'll put them in the
Yeah, I am.
Perfect.
1 second, I'm putting this right here. 1 second. Okay, there you go.
I also put in the chat, if there's anybody new on the call who would like to join us in the future, I put the links for our Nishmat chat.
So I think we're on day 12, correct? Day 12? Okay, first I just want to thank quickly, because I just thank everybody quickly. Thank Leah for coming back on. Thank you so much, Leah. I'm sure we're going to have to again to continue this conversation. And thank you to Lima, to Chaya, to Rebbetzin Yagi, to Basya, and anybody else I forgot. Okay, I'm going to play it now. 1 second, just going to connect myself.
We're going to go see Amanda. Yes, we're going to go see Amanda.
Well, today Nishmat speaks about two-facedness. He speaks about revenge. He said one of the worst negative character traits in a person is two-facedness, which quite literally means to act outwardly smiling but inwardly hateful. And he says this could be hard to avoid in real life. Sometimes you find yourself in positions of really not liking somebody, but you're unable to express it directly. But he says the Torah makes no allowance for this two-facedness whatsoever. It conveys to us that acting in a friendly manner in front of one's face while feeling hatred in your heart can lead to absolute disasters in human relations. And therefore the Torah says, you shouldn't hate your brother in your heart, which is transgressed, of course, whenever you harbor inner hatred towards your fellow. Chafetz Chaim says this prohibition applies that very directly to a person who speaks Lashon Hara, because besides for transgressing this lo telech rachim ba'alecha, the peddle gossip, as we mentioned in the previous days, if you act friendly to that person as you see them, but really secretly you're speaking about them nastily behind your back, behind their back, I should say, sorry, that's that is going against this you're transgressing this prohibition of lo tisna et achicha b'ra'acha. He does, however, make provisions and says there can be serious problems a person has with regards to someone in power, maybe a teacher, maybe a boss or something like that, and a person can't discuss their feelings directly with that person, but a person feels they do need to speak about that problem with someone. So the Chafetz Chaim says later on in this chapter, we will talk about how to go about that and do so, how to unburden oneself and relieve perhaps maybe some emotional pain, but to do so within the Torah guidelines. And the Chafetz Chaim says in doing that, in doing it correctly without speaking Lashon Hara, it's actually going to result in a very healthy solution rather than the backbiting and bitterness that's often generated with a person who's two-faced. The Chafetz Chaim adds and says that we only worsen the transgression, by the way, if after speaking Lashon Hara, you say to somebody who, please don't tell them you heard this from me. That sort of comment makes the matter more secretive. It goes to the heart of the sin of harboring hatred between Jews, and that's really a terrible thing. Two other Torah prohibitions which are very relevant to the laws of Lashon Hara, those of bearing a grudge and seeking revenge. The Chafetz Chaim says if we hate a person because he refused us a favor, and then later publicize the wrong this person committed, we violated these two prohibitions as well as peddling gossip. And the example, of course, is just one possible instance of revenge is a form of Lashon Hara. Obviously, this rule applies to any situation in which revenge is possible, and therefore the Chafetz Chaim actually advises us that whenever we hear other people speaking Lashon Hara, we should be aware that such talk is often fueled by anger or ill will. The person feels that they've been wronged and they're angry to the point where they can't detect their own lack of objectivity. And when hearing Lashon Hara, it's very helpful. A helpful practice to always consider that we're probably hearing not a responsible, objective report of someone's behavior. Probably we're hearing somebody's inner rantings of somebody's anger spilling out into words, and therefore he says we should be very careful when hearing people speak.
Okay, thanks everybody. We'll see each other tomorrow. We have Nechama Sarah Bergman tomorrow, who is unbelievable.